Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good dawn, good day, good whatever it is, wherever you find yourself. Welcome to another episode of Demystify Tech. And as you know, it's the last Friday of the month, and therefore we have our monthly Q&A, which is question and answers, and then Ask Me Anything session. In today's episode, I'll be concentrating more on digital transformation and your business, how you can use digital transformation and a lot of tools, most of it free, some of it expensive to run your business in this particular era we find ourselves in. When we come back, we're going to deep dive into it and talk. Stick and stay with me. Awesome. Thank you and welcome back to the show. As you can see, it's another awesome Friday. Well, as we do it, before we get into it, I like to announce a couple of things that happen. Um, you know, in a space of tech for you to know what's going on, and then before we get into our activity for the day. So let's just get right into it. The first of it, I think, deserves a round of applause and some awesomeness. Yeah, so yesterday was the Global Microsoft 365 Charity Quiz, which was held, across six continents. Unfortunately, Africa was part, but I was a bit disappointed because we couldn't raise enough funds to support the charity we wanted. But hey, that's not the end of the world. There's still more chance for us to prepare and actually do this better and subsequent editions. We're able to raise a lot of money thanks to Fisher, Emma, all the good guys all around the globe in the Power Platform community and the Microsoft community that made this work. I say kudos to you. Good work. Good job done. Let's keep this going. And then, hey, let's continue to believe in the cause that we've started. The next thing is here, I think this also deserves another applause. Let me make this a bit bigger for you to see. Yes. So myself and the people, the good people you see on the screens, are the FY21 Humans of IT ambassadors. Yeah. So we are driving the tech for good movement across the world. As you can see, a lot of people, a lot of interesting people there. We have my sister Foyin all the way from Nigeria, myself, there is Keith, there's Chris, there's Mary Thompson, there's Dax Raymond, there is Samit Saini, there is, Paul. It's just a bunch of amazing people who are making technology accessible and using technology to do good. Mentoring people. Some of our core values is mentor people, help people, get as much as they can get from technology, and how we can use technology to do good and to change the communities we find ourselves. Welcome. Welcome, George Kujo. Thank you for joining the stream. So yours truly, I am one of the ambassadors, which just means that there's a lot more work to be done. So thank you to all the good people that taught me and felt that I was worthy of this ambassadorial role. But hey, thank you so much. So if you have any good cause that you think we can use technology to solve social change, anything that can help, we can use tech to help and make the change, kindly let me know, reach out to me, and then we can work together and use tech to make a positive impact wherever we find ourselves. Yep. So with that out of the way, what are we talking about today? So today we're going to be talking about digital transformation, and as you know, today's an AMA session. So it's not that we're going to do like any demos or anything. AMA sessions are mostly short, because they usually depend on the questions that you're asking me. So today I'm going to be talking about digital transformation and how we can use that in our businesses. As you all know, we find ourselves in hard times. We find ourselves in, in COVID times. That means things are no longer the same. So I'll be talking about some of the good uses of digital transformation, some of the tools we can use, some of the resources. And today I'll be sharing some of the playbooks that I'll be using in today's session. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to borrow a few resources. I'm going to use Microsoft as a case study because they have also been pioneering the digital transformation space with a lot of their solutions and technologies, and they align with the whole digital transformation thing. So we're just going to go through this, and I have all the playbooks. We're going to walk through the playbooks, and as I'm doing that, if you have any questions, kindly just ask the question in the chat. and I will do so to answer them as we move on. If there's anything related to digital transformation or your business, and you want to know, okay, Samuel, how can I use technology to boost my business, or how can I use technology to drive my business in this time? Just hit me up, and then I'll be sure to point you in some good directions or in some good resources, to do that. So basically, the purpose of digital transformation is very, very simple. It's just a process to help your organization, all right, to find new ways of generating value using technology. All right, that is what digital transformation is all about. We're going to be using Microsoft's playbook to do this. Now, um, these are the four key areas. Now, there's actually 7 pillars of doing digital transformation in the Microsoft way, which I also kind of like align to. But this is the 4 areas of focus to look at as a business. Now, it includes defining a clear vision and strategy. Now, most companies, or now, and this is not specific to large, enterprises. You can apply this as a startup. You can apply this as a sole proprietor. You can apply this as, how do you call it? As just an ordinary person. So let's get into it. So we're going to take a look at these focus areas. So first of all, you need to define, all right, a vision and a strategy. It is very important that you define a clear vision and a strategy for your business, because it's key to developing a strong roadmap to help you move forward. Because you need to know, okay, this is where I am today, and this is where I intend to be in the next whatever that is. So whether it's a hamper business, whether it's a delivery business, whether it is a cooking business, whether whatever business that is, you need to have clear vision and strategy. Now, the next thing is you need to create a culture, right? A cultural change, right? You need to have a unified and elastic culture, a change that invites what we call diversity and allows change to be, passively accepted. Now, one of the key things in driving digital transformation is accepting that there's going to be some change. There's going to be cultural changes. There's going to be, changes that allow for a lot of things. All right. Now, you also need to amplify your organization's unique potential that allows it to transform the way it does things currently and then what you want it to become. All right. Key to note. Now, and then the final thing is you need to develop your organization's capabilities continuously. So it's not like one thing. So you need to be continuously assessing the capabilities of your business. How can I grow the business? It has to be, continuous. Now, with all these things coming on, like going on, you need to have that mindset of embracing the change, empowering your employees, and also, looking at ways your business and your product can also benefit. All right. Now, the couple of ways that you can do this, a couple of playbooks here. The 3 ways that accessibility strategy can help you boost business performance. That's like one strategy. That's one way of going about it. And then how can we look at empowering your employees with AI? And then we're also going to look at, how businesses can leverage AI to do that. And I'll explain. So if you have any questions around AI as well, feel free to share that with me, and we can use that. Now, I'm going to share this resource in the chat, so feel free to use it. There are actually sectors for automobile, defense and intelligence, financial services, manufacturing, health, government, media, retail, telecommunication. So you find a bunch of playbooks and strategies for this focus areas that you can use to enable you to digitally transform your business. So let's take a look at. Let's now take a look at the first one. Let's see, digital transformation. Yeah. So let me talk about the let's talk about digital transformation in 7 steps, and then we'll come to talk about. We'll make the time to talk about the 2020 trends. All right. So let's go. And whilst this is happening, just ask the questions if you have them, and I'll try as much as possible to answer it. So first of all, how can your business stay relevant and competitive in today's new digital era? Now, you might have a lot of competition. You might have started with a lot of people, and you were probably doing well, and all of a sudden, another competitor starts, and you realize that this person is actually moving faster and doing a lot than you are doing. All right. Now, this is probably because that person is digitally transformed. To give you an example, if you're running your business for God knows how long, you've been dealing with traditional ways of engaging with your customers, and then a new business comes in, and they're using all the social outlets. They're using WhatsApp. They're using chat bots. They're using all the cool things that they can use to, sell the business and sell their products. And that's giving them a competitive advantage. If you don't reposition yourself or reprioritize or look at how you can digitally transform your business using technology, what's going to happen is that you're going to be left behind, and this new business is going to just skip and go, way past you. All right. So these are some of the things that we're going to look at. So briefly, um, I'm just going to briefly go through this so that we can look at it. So let's quickly look at some key points that are of interest here to me. It says that what technology is omnipresent, and this access to digital services is playing what an increasing role in everything we do, shaping growth, changing industry landscape, and providing catalysts for new business model, products, services, and experiences. Think about it. Today, there's a lot of delivery going on, especially in this COVID time. So now you buy stuff, and there's a lot of emphasis, or there's a lot of delivery companies springing up because that is the way to get your product to the people. I mean, people are trying to keep safe and all these protocols. That's one way. How then do you transform your business? People are now leveraging a lot on WhatsApp, a lot of Instagram, leveraging a lot of social media platforms to sell their businesses. Do you have presence there? Companies are looking for ways to interact with people. And I'm going to give you an example. Banks now, lately, banks are trying to, put in services that allow their customers to interact with their services 24/7. Think about it. In the era of COVID, where things are a bit tight and things are a bit difficult, there's a need for digital change or digital mindset. And I explain this. Imagine you're a small company, just a small business or a startup, and you provide some kind of services. All right, you don't have a 24/7 call center running for you, right? But think about it. You can leverage the services of chatbots. Chatbots are, virtual agents that can run like 24/7. That will be able to answer the very common questions and be able to give customers, access to some information they want rapidly without even you intervening. Unless, of course, it's very critical. So these are, some very basic examples of how, you can use that. And I've just shared a resource with you where a Microsoft with a Microsoft a playbook. So go take a look at that resource, download them, and use them. All right. Now, the digital transformation opportunity. I mentioned that this digital transformation requires a mindset, a new mindset. All right. You need to psych your people up to, to let them know that we're going to go through a series of change to better position the business to give us a good advantage, and that requires us to change the way we do things, change the way we perceive things, change our thoughts about a lot of things. Technology is not evil. There are people who think technology is evil and technology is going to steal our jobs. That's very debatable, but that's not the purpose of today's session. Today, we're just going to see how we can use it to leverage and to, promote our businesses. Now, step one, leadership matters. All right. Now, it, technology is a means, not an end, okay, for transformation. So it's about leadership. Now, so what means is that you need to have leadership mindset or leadership that is determined to move the company to the next level. All right. So if you have leadership that is not willing to implement some of these digital transformational changes, then already you failed. You can't proceed in the in this era of digital transformation. So leadership matters. You need to have leaders that are willing to embrace new technology, embrace the use of technology to solve the problem. Now, the second thing is you need to drive a cultural change through effective change management. Like I mentioned, there has to be a cultural shift. Okay, there has to be a cultural shift where you are letting people know that hey, we're going to change the way we do things. We're going to change the way we think about our product. We're going to do things. We're going to change the way we think, of our customers. This is also very important. That is the second step. Now, the third step is for you to connect with your customers, product, assets, and people, right? Connect with your what? Your customers, your product, your assets, and your people. Three. Now, the whole of this, thank you very much, Stanley. Hope you're keeping safe all the way out there. Thank you for joining. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, today we're talking about digital transformation. So if you have any questions pertaining to how you can digitally transform your business to position it for growth and for change, just ask the question. I'll do my best to answer them. Now, so number three, connect with your customers, people, assets, all right, and then the product. Now, so this means that you need to find innovative ways of connecting with your customers to know What are my customers, requesting for? What are my customers purchasing? What is the rate of purchase of my customers? What's the retention rate? What is, how many of them are coming back to purchase? Now, what products are selling? What is the feedback we're getting from it? What do we have? Then even your internal assets and your people. How are my people responding to the new change? You need to be able to track this and use this. All right. This is very important. Now, this applies to, like I'm saying, any business. You don't have to be a Fortune 500, Fortune 100, even from a sole proprietor to, a tabletop business person, you can apply these things and it works. Right. Number four, adapt a data culture. All right. Now, this is very important. Whether we like it or yes, in this era we find ourselves, we're generating tons and tons of data, petabytes of data. All right, we're generating data almost everywhere. Everywhere we find ourselves, we need to start to adopt this data culture to know that we're generating tons of data that we can use to predict, to analyze, to forecast, to build our business. You have to accept that, and you need to position yourself to know that. I mean, it is the inevitable now. All right, and make use of platforms and tools that allow you to analyze this data and make meaning of it to project your business. I recommend you look into Power BI. There are a lot of free subscriptions to Power BI that you can use to do this business intelligence and analytics. Now, step five, experiment and fail fast. Now, almost synonymous to the agile methodologies, we are in a digital transformation era where if you need to try something, try it quickly, and if you have to fail quickly and change it. All right. There is this notion of no, we don't want to do this. No, it's you're better off trying that, failing, and quickly, learning from it and moving forward. In today's era where there's a lot of cloud technologies and cloud solutions, it makes it easy for you to experiment and fail fast so that you can know what works and what doesn't work. The sixth one is think ecosystem and become an enterprise software company. Now, whether you like it or not, every company is becoming a technology company, one way or the other, right? Whether you're selling shoes, whether you're selling food, whatever you're selling, you're quickly becoming a technology company because you're offering services. You're offering services that is being, provided on different platforms and scopes. All right. Now, the last bit, step seven, is who is my Uber. Now, this is just you need to identify who your competitors are. Who are your competitors? What is making what distinguishes you from your competitor? All right. Because we all see the disruptions that Uber brought, that they don't own any vehicles, but they are the largest fleet management. You know, they don't, just like Facebook doesn't have any content on its own, but it's the largest kind of like content creator. So think in that perspective. You need to understand your competition and how your competition actually works. Now, why bet on Microsoft as your transformation partner? Like I mentioned, Microsoft has a lot of tools. Microsoft has a lot of tools for you to use. And also think about how integrated Microsoft tooling is. There are a lot of solutions you can use free on the Microsoft ecosystem. I'll share those with you before the show ends. And also, Microsoft has been around for decades, for centuries, for years. So you're best assured that you're getting value for money, and also they're not going anywhere soon. And the technologies they provide you are here to stay. So there are a lot of ways that you can transform your business. All right, there are a lot of, whether you're from IoT sections, you're looking at AI, you're looking at other things. There are a lot of resources here. So let's see. Let's open this particular one. There are a couple of ones that I'll share with you before the session ends today. So and don't forget, it's a Q&A, question and answer, ask me anything session. So if you have any questions, just keep them coming. And then I will do my best to answer those questions. All right. So while this is going on, let's go to the next one that I wanted to share. I wanted to share the 2020 trend. Yes. So this is the next thing that I wanted to share. Now, four digital trends that will transform business in 2020. Already, we know how things are going in 2020 for us with COVID and all that. So let's talk about this trends or these things. Now, you need to understand the scope of change. As you can see, we've been talking about change, 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 change. So here, a lot of things happening. All right, we have more than 50%. Okay, that's half of all gross domestic product worldwide will become digital, whether you like it or not. More than 50% of the gross domestic product, things are going to be digital. We've all seen it. There are a lot of services now going digital. So you need to understand the scope of change. With 50% of these things going digital, you need to be digitally transformed and ready to face these opportunities. All right. Now, trend number one, every company will become a tech company. I mentioned this. Whether you like it or not, you're going to provide some form of services, and that makes you a tech company. Number two, the global society will benefit from the tech industry. Think about it. Today, there's a lot of tech, like look at it, online streaming, all tech. There's video conferencing, there's Zoom, there's Teams, there's Slack. Think about all these online conferencing facilities, and now companies are moving to that. Companies are looking at virtual offices. Companies are using tools and technology. People are providing chatbots. People are interacting with customers online using all the technology processes. This is what is happening. These are the trends. Number three, lines between and within industries will be what? Blur, in the sense that there's just going to be a thin line between industries because we all be providing services that use technology and transcend beyond our core business processes. And then the final one will be there is going to be a corporate cultural shift, right? Because people are going to change the mindset. Like, for instance, I know some businesses are thinking, do we even have to have a lot of physical offices, right? So there's going to be a mindset and physical shift on the way things are done. So now let's look at the first trend, which is every company will become a tech company, you know, this year. So it says that many companies are re-architecting their infrastructure and culture for innovation, from manufacturing to healthcare. They are inventing new technologies from existing solutions. The numbers are what is interesting here for me. So 75% of business leaders reported that they are already creating new products and services today. Yeah, 73% of companies reported that they are currently creating their own first party intellectual property using next generation property, such as machine learning, IoT, AI, blockchain, and mixed reality. Now, look at the percentages. So, if you're in business, these are areas you need to be looking at. How do I use IoT? How do I use AI? How do I use some of these technologies to enhance and create solutions and businesses for myself? All right. Now, I'm going to give you a typical example. Now right now in real estate, sorry, in tourism and real estate. So we know how COVID is inhibited people from traveling. All right, so how is the tourism sector trying to innovate? People are going what mixed reality or augmented reality or virtual reality or 3D or virtual tours. All right, that is embracing and adapting to change. Now you can have an immersive experience in a hotel at a very awesome tourist site. These are some of the things. Now, it also says that 68% of business leaders say profitability has increased due to what? Digital transformation. So, if you don't digitally transform your business, right, today, if you don't start engaging with solution partners, solution architects to help you digitally transform your business, you are going to be losing in the competition or you're going to be losing in the game. Now, so one thing to take note from this very first trend is that across industries, organizations are putting themselves at the forefront when they develop their own digital capabilities. All right. So be the game changer. Be that bank that that changes, that innovates. Be that startup that innovates something. Be that sole proprietor that innovates or changes the ecosystem of where you're working. Now let's go to trend number two, which said that now global society will benefit from tech in what? Intensity. Now think about this. It's not all about the bottom line of business. Now the effort of business will include positive network effect, economics of scale, and let's just jump through all that. But here's the thing: 36% believe that tech development will lead to improved access to healthcare. Yes, like now the things like telemedicine, because people are engaging it, you can actually send, USSDs connect to a health practitioner somewhere. Now, 40% believe that tech development will also provide better connectivity to rural areas. Now, we're seeing that with the advent of all this current society we find ourselves in, there's going to be a lot more expansion into these areas to enable technology. There is 5G, all this, 5G is the next thing we're talking about, and other technologies to enhance this. Now, 40% also believe that tech development will help reduce corporate waste, which is true because then it allows you to identify the areas that need that need proper change, and also allows you to utilize to the fullest the services and offerings you have. Now, here's an insight. See, there's a neuroscientist and spiritual master Amit Ray says that tremendous potential for AI or what we call compassionate artificial intelligence, can transform and heal the world from a much deeper sense of. So using different technologies across board can help you transform your business digitally. Let's go to the third trend, where the lines between and within industries will be blurred. Right now, businesses once had a clear idea about what their top competitors, were. Now they knew who they had to, beat in order to win the category dominance. But digital transformation is blurring the lines between these industries. All right. Now it's making it harder to identify what grounds you're competing on. Right. An example: 47% believe that industry incumbents will be forced to compete with new entrants that have harnessed their own digital capabilities and intellectual property. Like I'm saying, if you're probably in the delivery business, all right, you were in the delivery business for a long time, and a new person comes in, immediately came in with an app, with a way to interact on WhatsApp, the way to interact with Facebook and all that. Immediately, that person is in it that you're like, okay, hold on. Is this person competing with me in this space, or just delivery or something? So this is going to be what's going to drive our businesses in this year and beyond. Now, 36% believe that digital advancement will make the globe economic playing field more level. So digital transformation empower a lot of people to stay on the same level and blur the lines. Now, the final one, corporate culture would shift. Now, new technologies and capabilities that make work more efficient and engaging are more accessible than ever before. Yes, now technology is becoming cheaper and inexpensive, and demand on businesses to put these to good use in as well is very high. Now, take a look at this. Now, in the old way, there was scarce information. Now there's abundance of information. In the old way, there was static hierarchies. Now there's dynamic networks. Now, in the old ways, you are competing to win. In the new ways, you are collaborating to win. In the old ways, individual productivity. Now it's a collective value what creation. And then in the old ways, you're focusing on planning ahead. In the new way, you're experimenting, you are learning, and you are responding. In the old way, there's efficiency of process. In the new way, it is effectiveness of outcome. All right. And it says that 70% of millennial business leaders believe it is very important to work for a company organization that keeps up with software and application trend. Yes. I mean, I have been doing this for God knows how long. I like keeping up with new stuff. Now, the insight, technology hiring is in non-technology industry is growing 11% faster than technology hiring itself. So, with all this in mind, it's just tells you that you need to digitally position yourself, right? Your business, your people, your product, and your asset. So the tech intensity and aligning transformation, like I mentioned, there are a lot of solutions. Now let's look at um retail. All right, this is like an example of the retail. Now some might say now Fabletics is another example of using digital transformation to move their retail business. Look at healthcare. These are case studies that you can use. Now they're using HoloLens. All right, they're using HoloLens to allow people to see like 3D scans, MRIs, and all that CT scans, which is innovation. All right. Then in manufacturing, they're also using some HoloLens, some cloud technologies to allow them to look at various parts, to order for service parts and all that. And then financial services, banks, all right? Now, banks are also using cloud solutions and cloud technologies to harness them to allow them to provide better services for their what? For their clients. And then government is not left out, all right? Government are using technology, IoT, smart cities, smart light, smart cameras, smart to enhance the lives of citizenry, allow citizens to have access to information, and also do great stuff for their citizenry. So there is a lot of resources available for us to use. I'll be sharing this digital document as well for us to take a look at. Now, I'm still waiting for your questions. Before that comes, I think I am going to. I've talked about the seven. I'm going to talk about the AI Playbook, which is another way I think that you can also digitally transform your business. So, how can you empower your employees with AI? So we're going to look into how Microsoft uses AI to do business, and then you can take some cues from how you can use that to do business on your side. So if you have any questions, like I mentioned, don't hesitate. Today is an AMA Q&A session. So feel free to ask me any questions relating to how you can digitally transform your business, and I would be very glad to answer these questions for you. If you're joining us from, Facebook, from Twitch, from Facebook, sorry, from YouTube, yes, we're here to help you, do that. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Ask me that, and then I would be honored to answer those questions for you. All right. Awesome. So let's get right into it. Now let's talk about how Microsoft is using AI to empower, its employees to do business. All right. Let's take a look at that. All right. Let's go. So we're going to look at, how they're using intelligent lead scoring, AI for intelligent lead scoring, how they are also using it for sales, customer service, finance, and additional Microsoft AI use cases. We're going to take a look at them as we move on. So if you have any questions, feel free, to ask me, and I'll be glad to help answer these questions. So AI presents what we call a tremendous opportunity to drive unprecedented, presented value from data across industries. So like um, internet, the cloud, computing. Now AI has the potential to transform our businesses and processes. In fact, now Gartner will says that AI augmentation will create about 2.9 trillion of business value in 2021. Yes, 2.9 trillion, 2.9 trillion dollars of business value in next year. So it means that if you position your business well to harness and take advantage of some of these things, you are, better positioned to, get access to some of this information. Now, in the areas that AI is implemented at Microsoft, which you can take a cue from, is sales, finance, marketing, and customer service. All right. So let's get a look at that. The first part is marketing. So what Microsoft is doing is that it's enabling what we call the intelligent lead scoring and qualification. So is now their marketing department receives over 10 billion leads per year. All right, 10 million leads per year. Now, while the conversion rates, were on a, were kind of like at par with industry benchmark, they felt that they could do better with technology and AI. So, given the scale of our customers, what they did was that they had to find ways to score what customers will better transform, what lead will better transform into like a sale. So they use AI than traditional ways of lead generation and following. So if you look at the funnel here, before AI, marketing was spending a lot more, they're spending a lot more time, you know, a small there was like a very low conversion rate, all right. But then with AI, there's more precise customer targeting, and then there's a higher what conversion to sales, all right, which is a benefit of the AI they're using. So their AI-based lead scoring platform has helped them to do this and increase return on investment, all right. Now, then there's also the AI-based lead scoring, all right, which allows them uses the bot-enabled augmented marketing. So they use bots and other services like Lewis to engage customers to know what customers are looking for, and then provide those services for them. That can enable them to have a higher what conversion rate. Now, for sales, they also used AI that helped them to increase conversion rate with the next best lead. So that's also another thing they use. So they use like it's incorporated in 365. Now, one thing that I want you to understand: any of the Microsoft products that you use, most of it today has infused AI. So you don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to be like a crazy geek with technology or AI or all these statistics and all that to be able to infuse AI in your dealings. If you're using any Microsoft product, even from PowerPoint, there is some AI already embedded, and that is one of the things that I really appreciate and like about most of the Microsoft product. There's AI in it. Check Power BI out. There's awesome AI integrations in there. Now, let's take also now the next thing was next best lead using technical background. All right. So they had a lot of AI in there to look at, okay, right moving data from the marketing automation system into integration, the partner channel, prospect services. They have a whole how do you call it, architecture to do this. I'll share this as well for businesses to derive also from. Then customer service. Now, something called the customer feedback analysis. So they use customer sentiment analysis. Today, a lot of businesses are on social media, but they don't know how to transform what the customers are saying or feeling into how they deliver products or people. Like people are talking, you know, terrible about a certain product. How are you getting that information and using that to digitally transform your business? If you're hearing demands that, oh, your deliveries are always late, how can you use those sentiments, transform those sentiments into business value to make sure you are giving a good value? All right, things like our voice of the customer, things like boards, things like sentiment analysis, all these things, are in place that you can use for good business result. And Microsoft uses AI to power their customer service feedback. All right. Then, so the thing is about, so this is a technical diagram or background for the voice of the customer. So what they do is that they acquire data, right? And then they do data enrichment. So there's Azure Compute, there's machine learning, there's translator to get data into this one, and they run insight into it using Power BI and some Azure DevOps and all that. Again, I'll share this document for you. Then finance, to predict late payment. Today, a lot of people, a lot of banks are offering loans and services. Now with AI, you can also put in solutions to predict which clients or customers are likely to default. Now you have to be mindful of best practice or best use of AI, so that you're not racially biased, and you're not biased based on ethnicity, race, and all that. So I mean, using AI in a proper way. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, now they're using AI to help them predict, late payments. That's another thing they do. Let's look at the technical background. So what they do is that they have data in a SQL server, which is ingested into Azure Data Factory, and then they use that, do some Azure machine learning and some other stuff, pipe the data back and then run Power BI analytics to know, okay, these are the people that are potentially, all right, going to default and all that. Then there's also another sector in finance where they are leveraging chatbots to free up employee time. So again, like I'm saying, customer service, all right? How do we use, for instance, you should be able to access a loan or access your accounting details and even apply for a loan, using a chatbot, like from WhatsApp or like from Facebook or like from even Twitter or any of the social platforms. That is what AI can do for you, in helping grow and digitally transform your business. So if you look at a chatbot, Field Sales Operator Collective, they just talk to this credit service chatbot. The credit service uses language understanding services to make out what you're trying to ask for, and then it calls the necessary services and endpoint to provide you this service. Now, what you need to know is that AI drives agility and scale in your product. So whether you're using whichever service you are, think of how you can use technology and AI to power your business, to grow your business, and to leapfrog into the next how do you call it, episode of digital transformation. All right. Well, so I think that will be all that I have for you in terms of resources. Um, you If you look below, these are like all my social media handles. If you have any questions, I'll recommend Power Platform. I recommend you to take a look at the Power Platform. A varying array of tools you can use, uh, to digitally transform your business. Yes, Stanley has a question. So you talked about how businesses stand to benefit from tech and advancement happening each day, and I love that you can talk. And I love that. Can you talk a bit about some ways those businesses can bring their customers along in the journey, especially if they aren't used to it? Talk about culture change for the customers. Okay, so remember we mentioned that as part of digital transformation. Thank you, Stanley, for that question. So we talked about the fact that you need to bring your customer, your product, your people, and your assets. You need to bring them together. All right. So let's be very honest. How many times have business owners even called back to a customer to find out whether they were satisfied with the service? A few people do it. Most people don't. They don't even care. Once you get the service, that's it. Now, how many companies or how many businesses are listening or are watching out for sentiment of customers who patronize their services? What are they saying? All right. Now, so these are ways that you can bring your customers along the digital transformation journey. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Using social media, all right? You have people who buy your product, right? Now, when they buy your products, they talk about it. You have your own hashtags, you have all that. Collect information from what people are saying about your product, all right? And based on that sentiment or that information, you will know who your aggrieved customers are. You know who your loyal customers are. You know who your returning customers are. Now, there's something also called gamification or loyalty or rewards. All right. You can now implement things like this to actually reward returning customers and also know what customers are asking for. Now, there are a lot of businesses or companies that provide services, and most of them don't even have like a unique identification for the returning customers. So anytime I'm coming to buy something, they just know me as, oh, this person really comes here, but they don't even care to get some info about me to know that this is my preference, this is what I like. Now think about this. With digital transformation, if you bring your customer along and you have like a solid record of your customer, if I come into your shop and I buy let's say I keep buying, let's say, battery packs, right? I come there once, I come there twice, I come there 3 times. You know that, oh, this guy is a frequent person, that you can even give me specialized discount. All right, specialized discount. I'll give you an example. In the areas of we call it real time tracking or real time presence, context aware technology. Let's say I'm a business owner, all right, and I have placed beacons or sensors in my shop, and I'm able to tell based on the my business mobile app what customers are interacting with in my shop. So if you come into my shop and you pick a shoe, all right, I will know that because you have the app, and you came into the shop and you picked the shoe, I can tell that someone has picked the shoe. Now, thanks to digital transformation, if I walk into the shop like 6 times, right, the app and the system will know that some came into the shop, what, 6 times, 6 times. Some picked the shoe 6 times, but some has not bought the shoe. What could that mean? It could mean that some really likes the shoe, but maybe the price tag is what's maybe making it difficult. At that point, through technology, you can actually give some a customized discount. So maybe immediately some picks the shoe for maybe the 7th time, you can send a customized message to Sam and say, hey Sam, we realize that you've been actually eyeing the shoe. Well, how about we give you, maybe a 10% discount? Would that help you to buy the shoe? You're bringing your business along. Once you do that, look at how the customer is going to move from, wow, they know my preference, they gave me a customized discount. Now they're going to transfer this into your social media platform where others are going to see it, and you can look at what sentiment and what traffic and what lead that generates. So Stanley, I don't know if that answers your question, but that is one way you can bring your customers along. Another thing would be that when customers, purchase services, all right, do a follow up. Now, and this is why digital transformation is very important. You might not have the staff or the resource and people to do follow up for all your customers, but with technology, if you run your orders through technology, let's say you're using now WhatsApp, the person ordered something from WhatsApp, all right, and you're using technology or bots to track that the order has been delivered, all right, immediately the bot or the system realize that, oh, delivery has happened. Give it maybe the next 24 hours or the next day, and then send an automated message. Hey, Samuel, we delivered so and so yesterday. We hope you liked it. If there's any problem, reach out to. You are engaging with them. Let the customer feel that you are bringing them part on the journey. And also, your employees or your people and your asset also need to have this shift, cultural shift, to take part in this digital transformation process that we're talking about. So, Stanley, I don't know if that answers the question for you. If that answers the question, awesome. Yes, it's a Q&A. So, like I mentioned, if you have any questions, just ask. Let me try to answer those questions for you. Yep, and then we'll take it. We'll take it from there. Someone doesn't seem to be. Someone is angry. Someone is angry with me. Who could that be? Anyways, but um, yes. Oh, Benga, welcome, 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 welcome. Do you have any questions for me? So today we've been talking about digital transformation in your business, and we talked about how you can use that. Um, you know, you can use AI, you can use bots and all that. Oh, and my cousin from somewhere in somebody's land, good customer service advice, right? Yes, yes, yes. It is. You see, and yeah, thank Vivian, and that's true. Customer service doesn't have to be difficult to do, right? Neeraj from somebody's land. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Let me answer that question. All right. So yeah, customer service doesn't have to be very tricky and difficult. If you put systems in place, again, like I mentioned, if you put systems in place, let's take a look at like you have an automated ordering system, right? So I buy something, all right? I ordered it. Your system tracked that the order has been placed. I bought it on this date. This is what I bought, and the system also tracked that it has been delivered. All right, it has been delivered. Now, when that happens, immediately your systems can, can start processing a chain of events. Let's say you can say that after the order is delivered, all right, what you can do is that yes, I don't know if you can see the documents that I am sharing, but what I can do is, I know what, let me actually copy them and put them here so you can actually yeah, I think I needed to paste this separately. Okay, so I just added it in Facebook. So for some reason I can't share content directly from my system here, but then yeah, so I've sent that. Now, so like I was saying, now once that order is received, you can start a series of events. Like, oh, someone, your order has just been it's our system indicates that your order has been delivered. Can you please confirm? We are here to help you. We are here to help you to make sure you have a good customer experience. It's a bot is doing that. It's not a physical person to say that, oh, anytime you send it, physically call the person and say, hey, I mean, you can add that human touch to it, but let the body, because right now millennials, trust me, over 80 to 90% of millennials do transactions online on most of these platforms. All right, so it's just a matter of harnessing that. In the same way, because you're providing this services to people, you also need to be listening to what they are saying. Considering that 80 to 90% of millennials are doing their transactions on social media, you need to have a presence to listen. Hey, what is someone? So let's say my company is ABC Hampers. So I need to be looking at what has someone said about hashtag ABC Hampers. Is it good? Is it bad? Now I need to also put in, hey, welcome, Moro. Good of you to join. Yes, yeah. I'm happy you are learning a lot of things. That's what we need to do. Share some of these things. So think about this. And I think I did this. I did this on my show. I think it either on the Power series or on Demystify, where I showed how you can use simple tools to listen to what people are saying about you on Twitter, all right? And then do sentiment analysis. And then if it's a negative sentiment, immediately you know the person who tweeted, right? You know that what the person said. You can send it to an escalation team to immediately, reach out to the person. Oh, what was bad about your experience? How can we help you make this experience, good? And all this thing can be a bot or like an AI driven system up until the point where you realize that, oh no, at this point a human intervention has to happen. All right. Now, if it's a positive one, take a look at what the positivity is. People might be saying, oh, your delivery is good, or they are on time. Keep that track and ensure that you are maintaining, that record. For the areas that is not giving a good response, start working on those responses. Now, it could mean that you need to also look at, okay, how many people are engaging with you on the social platform. How can you encourage people to engage? To say that, okay, for my business, if you order from maybe from Facebook, or if you order from WhatsApp, you get 10% discount. That is how you also bring customers and people along to start patronizing your digital transformation services, and then you can grow the business. And one thing you need to understand is that digital transformation also saves a lot of cost. Actually makes you to make, helps you make a lot of profit if well done and well architected. So I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are a lot of ways you can achieve this. So whether you want to use boards, whatever you want to use to implement a very solid digitally transformed business to position yourself, because trust you me, COVID in all its forms has exposed a lot of things, has shown us that you need to digitally place your position yourself to succeed I mean, if you want to make it, in business. So what are you waiting for? Why do you have to wait for your competition to, zoom past you and put things in place? So take the next step, connect with a professional, connect with, solutions architect, let them help you to see how you can digitally position your business. Now, it's it is worth investing in, because the return on the investment, if you digitally transform your business, is really, really, really high. It's really, really high. That's what I can say for now, unless there is another question. We have about 6 minutes to go to the top of the hour. So if you have any questions, keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. Um, I will be glad to answer questions on, on all the things we've talked about: digital transformation, AI. We've talked about boards. We've talked about virtual agents. We've talked about some services to help you do that. Yeah, and I mean, and even if you're in a particular business and you're wondering, how can I digitally transform this business? Well, you can ask the question, and we can, we can try to answer that. How can you share this video as I can't see the share button? Oh, so Vivian, what's happening is that because this is live, if you're watching from my Facebook stream, so it's Facebook Live. So if you go to if I think there's a share button under it. If you go to Facebook Live, you can just click the share button. And another thing is that it's also going to be available after the stream here, and then also on my YouTube channel that you can share and people can look at it. Nee says, what is the new age for digital currency? You're talking about cryptocurrency. Well, there's a lot of school of thought when it comes to digital currencies, especially cryptocurrencies. Um, the technology behind it is solid. The technology behind it is good. However, it is just the adoption that has its own concerns, because people, there's different divergent views of um, traditional money or traditional banking services has like a known regulatory body that regulates the money. All right, there's that known thing. However, when it comes to things like cryptocurrency, it's not completely, it's not completely, so to say, centralized, or there isn't like an oversight. So it makes it a bit difficult for a lot of people, or like a lot of countries, organizations, to really buy into it. However, you can use the same concept, to help with safety, security, and distribution of data, or authenticity of data amongst institutions. All right. Let me give an example. Let's say government of Ghana. All right. So government of Ghana decides to say that internally they want to use blockchain and cryptocurrency. All right. It can be our own crypto coin, whatever. It doesn't have to, have Bitcoin or anything. It can be their own crypto coin. Now, and all the state agencies have agreed that they're going to be on a blockchain, and they're going to agree on consuming, let's say, let's call it the CD coin. Let's just say it's a CD digital coin. All right. Now, so what's going to happen is that if, let's say, Ministry of Finance, all right, does some work for, let's say, Ministry of Agric, all right. Now, instead of physical cash to be exchanged, because these state institutions have agreed that they want to be on this particular blockchain or cryptocurrency, they can electronically transfer or use this, digital currency as a mode of payment. It is a mode of payment that is accepted amongst the state agencies, and therefore it will be like a legal tender for them. All right. Now, this is where the problem comes in. Now, if the state agencies have agreed to do that, and let's say a third party, which is not part of the state agency, doesn't buy into that idea, what happens if the state agency needs something done? That third party agency would not accept that, e-currency or digital currency as a form of payment. And with that, it makes it difficult. So unless the world decides to say, hey, we are agreeing to this, that's when it's going to be, really, really viable. But the technology itself, is solid. And I think I explained this last week to someone. So blockchain technology, on which cryptocurrencies are built, is just a distributed ledger system. So what's a distributed ledger system? Very simple. Today, your banking information is held by your bank, and your bank only. All right. If they want to validate how much you have, you want to validate your transaction, it is only your bank. Your bank is the only source of truth. No other agency or no other service has that information. Now, technically in Europe, I think it's forgotten the name of the policy. Your banking information is your property. You technically should have access to it. In EU, that is how it is. But currently, it's your bank that has that information. Now, if we wanted to validate transactions, we have to go to your bank. So that is why if someone in the bank in the IT department falsified or did some transactions, no other person can tell that it's been changed. I mean, unless you go through audit logs and all that. But if a person is smart enough and knows where the logs are and is, cleaning the logs, that is the only source of truth. If anything happens, it's dead and gone. But with blockchain, what happens is that now you have a number of parties having a copy of the ledger. So today, when let's say I deposit 100,000, all right, that 100,000 that I've deposited, the ledger or that information will be written to all the parties in the blockchain. So if there are 10 parties in the blockchain, this transaction will be recorded in the ledger for all the 10 people. Actually, it's going to be validated, encrypted. There's going to be a lot of some mathematics going on, and then they're going to verify this transaction, and it's going to be in all these 10 places. So if you want to falsify or do something bad, you'd have to go and manually change that in all the 10 places, which is technically an impossible, not impossible, but a hard feat to achieve. So in that state, blockchain allows you to have like a very secured source of like distributed source of truth that is tamper proof to some extent. So a typical example would be that imagine if we wanted to do like an electronic voting system, blockchain technology would be like the best way to assess that, you know, the data that is being transferred is valid. So let's give an example. Let's say there are let's say 5 political parties, all right, and then we go into election 2020. Now, anytime you digitally cast your vote, the vote is recorded in the ledger of all the, let's say, 5 political parties. It is calculated and then kept in the ledger. So today, party A cannot go and alter and say, well, per me, my pink sheet or whatever it is, I had 5. And for Kofi Mensah, so no. So a blockchain system like that will ensure that if we say from center A, the collation result was center A said it was 100 votes for this, 100 votes against this, that data is calculated, hash, secured, encrypted, and distributed on a ledger. So no one person can go falsify results from here and say that, hey, maybe any say, or this is mine. So that is another good use of, of it. Free idea app. I always give free idea app. So that's like another example of how you can use like blockchain, which is also part of digital transformation. I can tell you a lot of things that blockchain is being used, like for shipping, for shipment. Blockchain is being used to track shipment across to make sure that your shipping way bill and all that information is accurate. Even I know there is actually I think coffee. I've forgotten the country, but there's a country where they're using blockchain to ensure that the fruits or the vegetables that comes to your home is actually from the farm it is reported to have come from. So if I tell you that this tomatoes is coming from Ada or the northern region, there's a blockchain track for you to see that yes, it came from Kofi Mensah's farm. It went to this processing place. It went here, and you can validate, that trail. Yeah. Yes. So that's happening. That's happening now. So yeah, the different uses of technology, and the most important thing is that we find the balance of where to apply technology and where that works for us. And trust me, if you're able to do that, you can move your business to the next level. Technology is here to help us. Technology is not here to deprive us. It's here to make our lives better, to help us, do business the right way or the better way, and to help us achieve, better outcome. Everybody happy, and everybody, live an interesting, interesting life. So we are top of the hour 9:03, which is 1 hour of today's session. So how can GH implement these without politics? Unfortunately, I don't talk politics on this show. Um, but all I can say is that where there's a will, there's a way. If our leaders would, put aside politics and look at an agenda or developmental plan for the nation itself, I believe that technology can be used to achieve a lot of things. Technology can be used to, cut a lot of the rods that's going on. But my only problem is if we have to use technology, let's use it the right way. There's a difference between using technology and using technology the right way. Let's do that, and let's prioritize what's important and what we need technology to do, and use it to build our mother Ghana. Right? That's all I can say. Well, we can continue the discussion on WhatsApp. No, I don't put that. My WhatsApp line is not available. So we can continue discussing on Facebook. We can continue it on YouTube. We can continue it on Twitter. So just hit me up, ask the question, and then let's see how we can help. And don't forget, COVID is real. Stay safe. Be kind. Be generous. Let's love one another. Let's learn. Let's share, and let's make our country a better place. And if you've not registered, register to vote. All right, so then this has been yours truly, Samala Journey, bringing to you another episode of Demystify Technology. Stay safe. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any follow-up questions, please reach out to me on any of my social media handles, and I'll be willing and glad to help you to do that. Till then, stay safe. I am out.